Hey guys, it's Kwana. I'm back again with another review. Good to see you guys. It is Tuesday night, and so I just got finished watching This Is Us. How about you? Let's talk about it. So before we get started, do me a favor and hit the like button down below. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, please do me a favor and subscribe. It really helps me out, lets me know when you like the videos, lets me know if I'm doing a topic that you're interested in. So please engage, please comment down below. But if you're here and you just want to get a little quick recap, or you want to see if other people are thinking what you're thinking, or like I'm thinking, then I definitely get that. So do me a favor and hit the thumbs up, and let's get started with this episode of This Is Us. This was episode 3, entitled Unhinged, which is a play on the article written about Randall in his first week as a councilman. And there are threads of this idea of people being unhinged, which is kind of interesting because it certainly no one's actions and it measure up to what I would see as someone being unhinged. But I think it's kind of a play on that as well. Like what everyone is doing in this episode is seemingly normal behavior, but it would look unhinged to an outsider. So I took some notes so that I don't get lost along the journey and discussion about the episode. I thought this was a good episode. Um, the first, let's just start at the beginning. So it begins with an opening sequence. You guys know we haven't seen Nikki since episode 1, when he threw the chair through the Veterans Center where Cassidy was getting therapy and attending her AA meeting to handle her drinking. So we haven't seen him since then. And so what it does is it gives us the moments from, I guess, whenever Nikki first met Kevin and started trying to clean up his life and was seemingly doing good to the point where Kevin wasn't having to be out there with him up until that moment. And it was a beautiful sequence. They had a beautiful soundtrack. We got a chance to see him bonding with this doctor at the Veterans Center. And it really goes to show just how precarious these situations are, because he gets very invested in the relationship that he builds, the trust that he builds with this one individual. He is managing his sobriety and his alcoholism. And we see him, he's like cleaning up his act, he's cleaning up the house, he's getting things together, he's actually living a life, and he looks good. His skin was glowing and glistening, he didn't look all elderly. And then we see the moment that triggered this situation, which is that his doctor was being sent off to a different clinic. And it really shows you how susceptible people who have any kind of like mental disorder or disease are, because they're susceptible to the system. And if their doctor, they built a trusted relationship with this person, and then that person leaves, it can really set them off balance. It was kind of sad because of the way that she went about telling him. I know in her mind she was kind of telling him the best possible scenario, but you didn't see like a transition, like a changing of the guard. And it was really sad. Like I felt bad for him, and then he triggered and went and got drunk, and that's where he encounters Cassidy for the first time. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe eat a slice of, not a slice, a crumb of crust of some humble pie, because I might be wrong about your girl Cassidy, and she might be that love interest. And I was kind of wondering about the reason why I wasn't sure if she was going to be Kevin's love interest and future baby mama is because, one, the age of his kid and the fact that she already has kids. But we saw in this scene where he goes and he starts taking care of Nikki, and he goes to the same VA clinic and he meets her son and forms kind of a connection with her son. And so that son, who could have been the son that we saw, well, I guess he wouldn't have been, because that's still, Rebecca was like super old in that sequence. So it may not be that boy, but it may be a clue that that is Kevin's future wife, or they might even do a play and like play with this. I'm trying to think of what show did this, where maybe he'll meet Cassidy. Maybe Cassidy has a younger sister and he gets with her sister. So I don't know, but it's kind of interesting. Um, it was kind of interesting because he's forming this little bond with her son, playing Nintendo Switch out in the lobby with him. And it's a moment where he could seem unhinged. She's like, pedophile much? Like, you're a grown man sitting here playing with my kid. And I get it because I'm a teacher, and it's like kids just naturally flock to certain people. Some people have just like good auras about them that give off like parental vibes, and I think Kevin gives off that like uncle, like that fun uncle vibe, where the kid was just like, "Hey, fun uncle, let's play Mario Kart," and he was like, "Sure, eat some Funyuns." Like we know, because we know Kevin, he didn't have designs on the kid, but in this world where that people are grooming, children to abuse them, you can't be too careful. So I don't shame old girl for snatching her kid up and saying, "Hold up, not my baby," said the cat. So anyhow, that was really cute. Then we go um, to Pittsburgh, where Randall is becoming a councilman. He's reading the article about him. The girls are getting ready for their first day of school. It's a cute little family scene. I'm still waiting. They teased next week, so I'm really looking forward to it because we really haven't had any true kind of like um, family time or any time with like him and Beth, and I'm ready for my R&B. But anyway, he comes in from a run, and who comes in the house like he owns the place? But my good friend Jay Wan. And I think Jay Wan is just so adorable, and I love the little buddy banter between the two of them. It reminds me of Kevin and Randall if Kevin was, because Kevin is truly supposed to be like the big brother. Randall is the little brother, but Randall often plays the big brother to Kevin. But it's really cute to see like Jay Wan, and he's just like, "Hey Jay," and the banter between them is just so adorable and cute. So we flash into the past, and they're gonna get me with these time skips because I keep trying to figure out what year it is. Um, because I think Randall is starting seventh grade. Now, see, I was young, so I don't really know how old seventh graders are, but I kind of figure seventh graders are supposed to be about 12, 13 years old. So, if they're born in 79, that would put them at being 1992. It's just some stuff that's a little off. I feel like in like the times, like some of the songs they were listening to last episode, but I digress. So anyway, we see more of little kid Pearson's, the triplets, and we see Randall's going to school, and he's in school, but the twins, Kate and Kevin are not, because he goes to this private prep school or whatever. And he was so adorable. He was so excited because he was going here with his first black male teacher, and he was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna have this bro movement," and it's kind of a throwback to back in season 2, I think it was, when he used to take his little notepad and go following black people in the grocery store trying to figure out if they were his parents. And I was like, "Oh, this is so sweet." So he went and changed his little shoes, put on his little Air Jordans. He thought he was flying fresh. He was going to bond with this guy. And then Oprah wrote him up a demerit slip for not being in dress code compliance. And his feelings were so hurt. And I was like, this poor baby, he just wanted a bonding moment with his teacher. And he just got his whole little heart broke. But not only that, he has a full-on panic attack, has to call home. And Kevin, little selfish Kevin, he decides to step up and be a good big brother and come and save the day. That was a little cute. Um, Character building more, and just to show like the seeds of Kevin wanting to take care of other people. So last episode we saw, and I made the comment, you saw Kevin wanting to please other people, but now we see where he actually has like that caring spirit. Okay, so we see Kevin being a decent brother for 2 seconds. I was like, okay. So then we go back into the present. Oh, while that's going on, Beth is trying out this new little workout video, and so she ends up having a little moment with Kate, where Kate comes and works out with her. And it was just so sad because it's like the reality of like when no one tells you what health and fitness is supposed to be like. She works out and she thinks she's going to automatically lose weight like that second, and so you see the disappointment in her face when she doesn't. And it's like no one sits down and tells with her, well, we're going to start this healthy process, and it's going to take a few, it's going to take a little while for you to see the weight loss and to see the the change, but stick with it and you'll see it. And so we see the seeds of that. Now, that comes into play when we flash forward with Kate and Toby, and Kate shows up for this work lunch or dinner that Toby has, and she's looking at him and she's like, "Look at these new clothes. Wait a minute, you look a whole lot thinner than I thought." And so then they go home, and she's like, "Take off your shirt." And I mean, and he takes it off, and it was like, "Oh, okay, Toby, trying to get, ripped and everything. I see you." But she was like, "What is going on? Like, how did this happen? Where is the person I married that I've been living with for the past, 3, 4 years?" And he finally admitted to her that he'd been going to the gym, had been doing CrossFit during lunch, whenever he needed a break from the house. Pause my thoughts to say this. I felt for Kate, and I feel for Kate because as a mom with young kids, you don't do for yourself first. Oftentimes, you think about yourself, and usually what happens is it builds up and then it spills over, and then you start exhibiting like kind of selfish tendencies. But off the gate, you think about yourself last, and this is what's going on with Kate. Everything is baby, 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 and she hasn't have anything left for herself, and so she's oblivious to what's going on with Toby. But because Toby, as the husband, seemingly has the benefit of like leaving the house by himself, he can go to the gym and get buff and all those kinds of things, and he's not thinking about how that's impacting Kate either. And so we kind of see how they're both kind of falling into those tropes. I think we're going to see that play out more into some of the tension that's going to build up between them, and perhaps leading us into the bigger clue of what is going on with them at the end of season 3, the finale episode where Kate is not there at her mother's bedside and Toby is. So I think we're going to see that. So anyway, that happens. Then we go back to Kevin and Nikki. Nikki got arrested and all that good stuff. Kevin shows up, takes care of Nikki. He's trying to work out where Nikki didn't have to pay this huge behind fine, which I'm like, where are they charging people like $250,000 for throwing a chair through a window? Like, that's insanity. So anyway, if he can get him into the program there, they won't press charges. So of course this is bringing him into greater like encounters with Cassidy. So we do know she's gonna play an important role. Plus it's Jennifer Morrison. Like when the minute you saw her on the stage, on the screen, you thought you should have known we're gonna see her for the bulk of this season. So anyhow, Nikki is, still spiraling. He goes into the bar, and this is like high anxiety for Kevin. He goes in there to get Nikki, but it's like pushing him to the limit. He's like, "Okay, I need a drink, but I don't want to drink, so I need a meeting." And I just love how, because I've never heard Justin Hartley do this, even back in the day when he was on Young and the Restless. But he like snapped, and that inner like, "I'm about to pop off on you" came out, and he was like, "Get up, let's go." And I loved that. I love that scene. That's literally gonna be like one of my instant replay scenes. Like I love that scene. Like he's just like, "Get up, let's go," and he brought that heat, and I was like, "Oh." He said, "Get your stuff and go. You better go." So they go to the meeting where who do they see? They see Cassidy. And so they have a little kiki ha ha moment where they're all laughing at Kevin because they're like, "Okay, Kevin, you're really being ridiculous. You're talking about how hard your life is, but you're a movie star. Like your biggest thing is you just turned down a movie role." And they're all laughing. They're laughing at him. So he kind of realizes how he sounds and he starts laughing too. All right, so cut back to um, future Randall or present day Randall. And he's having a good first day, but he's seeing all these people, all these citizens who are coming into his office to tell them the things that are going on in the city. And he has this assistant who works there named Bernice, and Bernice is giving him attitude and snapping her fingers and rolling her eyes. Now, I don't want to play the, you know, card of black female, but I hated that it was a black female in that role because she was so stereotypical with the mm, just, all of that instead of just speaking her mind. I did not like that. But what made it worse is the actress who played that part, she's in tons of stuff. So you've seen her before. But if I'm not mistaken, what I recognize her from the most, and I could be real wrong, but is that not the woman who played like the adopted mother in Antoine Fisher? I could be real wrong about that, so correct me. But she's been playing in enough stuff where I don't like her because everything she plays a character I don't like. So I already was like, So she eventually like tries to throw J1 under the bus and try to like convince Randall to get rid of him. And I was like, oh Lord, Randall, don't get rid of Jay. If you get rid of Jay, I'm gonna be done. Like I'm gonna have to turn off the TV and walk away. But my boy Randall came through and he stood up for his mans and he fired her and he stuck by his boy. And so the whole day, Jay1 was like, I gotta tell you about this proposal. I gotta tell you about this proposal. And y'all know I'm an English teacher, so I love a good play on role and words. So he finally shows up to where he's supposed to meet with the other councilman, and he's like, I let her go. So J1's like, well, I'll get some resumes together tomorrow. So they having their little moment, their little bruh moment. I got you, man. He's like, tell me about your proposal. So I'm thinking he's about to tell him some proposal to like fix the city, and he's like talking about he gonna light candles, and he's talking about proposal to his girl. I was like, oh, this is us. They played me big time. I was like looking like, really? Really, this is us? Y'all want to play with the word proposal, and y'all really had me thinking like it was something like legit, and it was like just his wedding proposal. That being said, I would not be opposed to getting a double date situation or some kind of Pearson family situation where at the end of the season we finally get to meet J1's boo. I would not be opposed to that. That would be so adorable. So that kind of like brought the episode to a close. Oh, correction. That's not what the episode ends on. So the episode ends on Kate, who at the same time they're getting adjusted to moving into this new neighborhood. They've got this cranky neighbor played by Tim Umsman, I think is his name. He's been in like a ton of stuff. And he's been mad because he wants Toby to move his car. And so like he catches Kate at the wrong time the second time he needs to tell her about it. He's like, I thought I told you to tell your husband to move his car. And she gave him this look like, hold up, I don't know who you're talking to. So she starts telling him about her day. And then he slows in and he's like, yeah, I had a stroke. And I almost died. And I lost my job after I went to therapy. And so she was like, okay, tag, you win, okay? But she finds out the reason he wants Toby to move his car is because he's trying to walk a mile each day, and Toby's car is blocking his path. And so when it's in the path, he has to go around it and makes it harder because he can't do that. And so it kind of makes him want to give up. So this is why he's doing this. So we get to the end of the episode. Kate and Toby hash it out. They swear no more secrets between them. And then Kate gets the little dog, gets the baby Jack in the stroller, and then she goes outside when old boy is walking by, and they go on a little walk together. And I was like, oh, so maybe this is gonna be like Kate's, little walking buddy. She's gonna get on her little path to her healthiest self. That was cute. So it was a really cute episode. I mean, we did get Deja finding out that Malik has a baby. We also find out about Tess and her struggles at school. She thought she was going to be able to just be out and go to school and be like, oh, hey, I'm Tess and I'm a lesbian. Or I like girls, But she found herself like caving into like peer pressure of like wanting to hide herself to be accepted. So we're going to see her struggling with that obviously this season. But all in all, it was a really good episode. I like how we're getting the pieces slowly coming together. They just do such a good job of like, I picture their writing room looking like this big board of like final outcome, like all the picture pieces of this family collage together, and then like slowly pulling the pieces together. I'm saying like, okay, what's this piece about? Tell a story about it. What's this piece about? Tell a story about it. So they just do such a great job with that. So I thought this was a good episode, definitely better than last week's episode. I'm really looking forward to next week's episode because we get Felicia Rashad as Beth's mama. We get flashback to college Randall and college or pre-college Randall and pre-college Beth, which is going to be so cute, especially because the actress who plays Beth, she has studied Susan Kelechi Watson to a T and learned like all her little nuances. So it's gonna be really cute. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. And Phyllis Rashad, okay, and like her being in the same age group as Mandy Moore, even as like an older Mandy Moore, it's weird, but I digress. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's Phyllis Rashad. You have to just stand because it's Phyllis Rashad. Like you have to just stand and just bow and just say you are the queen of motherhood. So great episode. This is us, episode 3. They're really hitting their stride now with the season. Hopefully all the naysayers can kind of like chill out about episode 1 and be happy that we're back on the trajectory of uncovering more information about the Pearsons that we know and love. So that's my take on the episode. I thought it was great. Like I said, that whole Kevin saying get out right now. What did he say? I wrote it down. That's how he got me. He said, "Get up, let's go." That's gonna be my thing. When I'm get up, let's go. Whatever you need in life, get up, let's go. You need that motivation. Kevin Pearson's gonna give it to you. So guys, that's it for now. I'm gonna hopefully do a video on Masked Singer tomorrow. I haven't dropped any of my predictions yet. Here's a little teaser. If you didn't know, the Black Widow spider is Raven-Symoné. If you didn't know that. I mean, if you didn't know that, you're under a rock. Spoiler alert. So anyway, that is all for This Is Us. Until next time, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. And I will see you again next week. Toodles.